Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today we'll be exploring something maybe unexpected, the fascinating world of inventory management.
Oh, it's way more exciting than it sounds.
It is, and we've got some really interesting sources we'll be drawing on today.
We do.
We've got academic research on Kenyan sugar firms, insights into modern inventory tech, and even a peek into one Peruvian company's struggles.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll not only have some really practical knowledge, but also you'll really understand how this overlooked area can impact businesses all over the world.
Exactly. Okay, let's jump right in. Imagine you're in Kenya, surrounded by vast sugarcane fields.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, swaying in the breeze.
Right.
But behind this really idyllic scene, Kenyan sugar factories were facing this challenge that businesses of all sizes face, managing their inventory effectively.
And that's where this 2013 research paper comes in.
Okay.
Researchers wanted to see if there was a connection between a company's inventory practices and its financial success.
So they were already doing that back then.
They were.
And get this, even back then, these sugar firms were using some pretty sophisticated inventory management techniques.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as just stacking things in a warehouse. Right?
That's true. They were using lean systems, building strategic partnerships with suppliers, and even leveraging early information technology to really get a handle on their inventory.
Okay, let's break down those three for our listeners.
Okay.
First up, lean systems. Think of it as minimizing waste and maximizing efficiency.
Right.
Ever heard of just-in-time, JIT, or materials requirements planning, MRP?
Exactly. JIT is all about having materials arrive only when they're needed, which cuts down on storage costs and waste.
Right.
And MRP.
Yeah.
That uses production schedules and demand forecasts to plan exactly what materials are needed and when.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Next, we have strategic supplier partnerships.
Right.
And it's not just about finding the cheapest supplier.
No.
It's about building strong long-term relationships.
Absolutely.
How does that play a part in inventory management?
Well, these partnerships can be a total game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Open communication with your suppliers, reliable delivery times, and even working together to forecast demand.
Yeah.
All of these things lead to a much smoother inventory flow.
Okay. And lastly, even back in 2013, information technology was playing a role.
Yeah.
These sugar companies were using computers and specialized systems to track inventory,
Right.
predict demand, and automate tasks.
And keep in mind, this is way before cloud computing and AI were as widespread as they are today.
Wow, so even basic technology gave these companies a significant edge in managing their inventory.
Yeah.
Now, the big question, did these fancy inventory practices actually lead to better financial performance?
That's what the researchers wanted to know.
Right.
They measured financial performance using return on sales, ROS, and return on equity, ROE.
Right.
And the results were clear. There's a strong positive correlation between good inventory management and strong financial results.
So what does this mean for you, our listener? Think about your own experiences. Have you ever seen how poor inventory management can hurt a business?
Yeah, have you?
Maybe a store constantly running out of your favorite product?
Yeah.
Or a company with just frustrating shipping delays?
Right. Those are all real-world consequences of inventory management gone wrong.
Yeah.
But when a business gets it right, it benefits everyone.
Yeah.
You as the customer experience smoother transactions, faster deliveries, and just better service overall.
Now, fast forward to today. Technology has completely transformed the world of inventory management.
A whole new ballgame.
It is.
IBM, a leader in this field, points out how crucial inventory management is for meeting customer expectations in our digital world.
It's true.
Think about it. We expect speed and accuracy when we shop online.
Right.
And inventory management is really at the heart of delivering on those promises.
It's so true. We've all been frustrated by online orders that are delayed or inaccurate.
Oh, yeah.
And more often than not, inventory mismanagement is the culprit. So what does the future hold for inventory management?
Well, get ready for some mind-blowing advancements.
I'm ready.
We're talking about artificial intelligence, analyzing mountains of data to predict demand, and even prevent spoilage.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It is.
And then there's the Internet of Things, IoT, coming into play.
Right.
Imagine smart shelves that automatically reorder products when they run low. That's the power of IoT sensors tracking inventory in real time.
Exactly.
And don't forget about blockchain.
Oh, yeah.
Which can create a secure and transparent record of every inventory transaction from the factory to your doorstep.
Yeah.
This is a game changer for supply chains,
It is.
especially for industries where transparency and traceability are crucial.
Like food safety?
Yeah, or luxury goods where authenticity is key.
Right.
Blockchain can prove, without a doubt, that a luxury item is the real deal. So before we dive into more of these fascinating trends, let's shift gears and zoom in on a real-world company facing inventory management challenges.
Okay.
This time, we're headed to Peru.
Sounds good. So in 2023, researcher Jean Carlos Angel Cardenas took a deep dive into the inventory control practices of Inversions JCC, a Peruvian company.
Okay.
And what he discovered was a bit of a paradox.
Interesting. What was that?
Well, they were generating, decent revenue,
Okay.
but their inventory management system was really holding them back.
Oh, how so?
It was just inefficient, leading to potential losses and missed opportunities.
It's a classic case of succeeding despite your inventory management, not because of it.
Right.
So Cardenas broke JCC's inventory control into 3 key stages.
Mm-hmm.
So let's explore each stage and see what was going wrong.
Sounds good.
Okay, what was the first stage?
The first stage is control de ingreso, which means control of incoming goods.
Got it.
And the biggest problem here was a lack of dedicated personnel for receiving and quality checks.
Oh, so if no one is carefully checking incoming shipments for accuracy and damage,
Exactly.
you're just asking for trouble down the line.
Right.
Okay, makes sense.
Next was control de almacenamiento,
Which means?
storage control.
Okay.
And Cardenas found inadequate infrastructure, improper storage techniques, and even a lack of proper storage conditions.
Wow, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So what kind of risks does this pose to a business?
Well, improper storage can lead to all sorts of problems like product damage, spoilage,
Right.
even safety hazards, depending on the industry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It also makes it way harder to track inventory accurately.
Right, which can lead to even more issues.
Exactly. Inefficiencies and potential losses.
Okay, so the final stage was?
Control de salida, meaning outgoing goods control.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, they did better in this area, but there were still some concerns.
Like what?
They lacked a systematic way of recording outgoing goods, and there were also concerns about proper handling during transportation. So, this is a crucial step.
Yeah.
And things can easily go wrong if you're not careful.
It seems like Jakey Sachs' story is a really great example of how even a company with solid revenue can be hamstrung by poor inventory management.
Definitely.
They were leaving money on the table and missing out on opportunities simply because they didn't have the right systems in place.
It really highlights how crucial it is to have clear procedures, proper employee training, and the right tools and infrastructure to support your inventory management.
Yeah, have you ever worked in a situation where poor inventory management was just creating chaos?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What were the consequences?
It was just frustration, wasted time, financial losses, the whole 9 yards.
It's something to think about, whether it was at a job, a school project,
Oh, yeah.
even managing things at home.
Absolutely.
So we've seen how crucial strong inventory management is, from those Kenyan sugar fields to a company in Peru. Now, let's dive into the tech advancements shaping the future of this field. Remember those mind-blowing future trends we mentioned earlier? AI, IoT, blockchain.
Yeah, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It is.
It's really incredible how technology is transforming inventory management.
So let's start with artificial intelligence, AI.
Okay.
AI can analyze massive amounts of data to do some pretty amazing things.
It can.
So give us some details, like what can it do?
Well, AI can predict demand with incredible accuracy.
Okay.
So businesses can stock the right amount of products at the right time.
Right.
This helps prevent both stockouts and having too much inventory.
Okay, yeah.
AI can even help prevent spoilage
Wow.
by analyzing data on things like expiration dates and storage conditions.
It's like having a crystal ball for your inventory.
Kind of.
And what about the Internet of Things? IoT.
Right, so IoT is all about connecting physical objects to the internet.
Yeah.
Think smart shelves that track inventory levels in real time and automatically reorder products when they get low.
Wow. No more manual stock checks.
Exactly. The shelves do it for you.
That's incredible.
Uh-huh.
And what about blockchain? I keep hearing that word, but I'm still not totally clear on how it's relevant to inventory management.
Okay, well, blockchain is basically a digital ledger that records every transaction in a secure and transparent way. It's like a chain of custody that can't be tampered with.
Got it.
This is really a game changer for supply chains.
Okay.
especially for industries where transparency and traceability are crucial.
So, for example, in the food industry,
Right.
blockchain could help track a product from the farm all the way to the consumer's plate,
Exactly.
ensuring its safety and authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And for luxury goods, blockchain can be used to verify the authenticity of products
Right.
and combat counterfeiting.
Exactly.
So these technologies are pretty impressive,
They are.
but they also raise some important questions.
Yeah.
Which of these technologies seems most promising to you?
Well, that's a tough one.
And what implications do you see for both businesses and consumers? It's something to think about.
Absolutely. And while we're thinking about the future, it's also essential to understand the costs associated with inventory management.
Right, because at the end of the day, inventory management is all about maximizing efficiency and minimizing costs.
Exactly.
Yeah, inventory costs can really eat into a company's profits if they aren't carefully managed.
Exactly. And there are three main types of inventory costs that businesses really need to keep an eye on.
Okay, what are they?
First, we've got holding costs.
Holding costs.
Yeah, sometimes called carrying costs.
Okay.
These are all the expenses associated with just, storing inventory.
So like warehouse rent, utilities, insurance.
Exactly. And don't forget about the cost of capital that's tied up in inventory. That's the money the company could be using for something else if it wasn't just sitting in a warehouse.
Great, that makes sense. What's the next type of cost?
Next, we have ordering costs.
Ordering costs.
Yeah, these are the costs that happen every time a business places an order with a supplier. Think about processing the order, transportation costs, receiving and inspecting the goods when they arrive.
So it's not just the price of the goods themselves, but all the costs associated with actually getting them into the warehouse.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and what's the last type of cost?
Finally, we have shortage costs, sometimes called stockout costs.
Those sound scary.
Well, they can be. Shortage costs are the costs associated with not having enough inventory to meet demand.
Oh, I see.
So this could be lost sales, back orders, having to expedite shipping.
Right.
It could even damage your reputation if customers are constantly getting frustrated.
So it's a real balancing act for businesses.
It is.
They need to minimize all three of these types of inventory costs, but also make sure they can meet customer demand.
And that's exactly where effective inventory management comes in.
Finding that sweet spot.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears for a minute and think about something that's often overlooked when we're talking about inventory management.
What's that?
The environmental impact.
Yeah, that's a really crucial consideration.
It is. Inventory management has a pretty significant environmental footprint.
It does.
And it's something we should all be thinking about more.
Absolutely.
When you think about it, all that excess inventory, it often ends up in landfills,
Right.
contributing to waste and pollution. And all that transportation of goods back and forth, that generates a lot of carbon emissions.
Yeah. So what can businesses do to make their inventory management more sustainable?
Well, I think implementing lean inventory practices is a great place to start.
Definitely.
By reducing waste and optimizing processes.
Right.
Companies can minimize their environmental impact.
And it's also really important to choose suppliers who have strong environmental track records.
Makes sense.
And, prioritizing local sourcing when possible can also reduce transportation distances and emissions.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And as technology continues to advance, we're also seeing some really innovative solutions.
Like what?
Well, imagine, AI-powered systems that can optimize delivery routes to reduce fuel consumption.
Oh, wow.
Or even drone delivery systems that can bypass traditional transportation networks altogether.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It's exciting to see how technology can really help create a more sustainable future for inventory management.
It is. And remember, sustainable practices aren't just good for the planet.
Right?
They can be really good for business, too.
Absolutely.
More and more consumers are demanding eco-friendly products and practices.
They are.
So companies that prioritize sustainability are going to win over these consumers and gain a competitive edge.
Definitely.
Okay, I want to bring this back to you, our listener.
Okay.
How can you apply these insights to your own life, even if you're not running a business?
That's a great question. The principles of inventory management can be incredibly useful in just, everyday life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Give us some examples.
Okay, well, think about your own pantry or your refrigerator. Do you ever find yourself throwing away food because you bought too much?
Oh, all the time.
Or running out of a key ingredient right when you need it?
Happens to me all the time.
Those are classic signs that, maybe you could benefit from applying some basic inventory management principles at home.
Okay, so what can we do?
Well, start by taking stock of what you already have.
Okay.
create a system for organizing your pantry or refrigerator.
Right.
So you can easily see what you have and what you need.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of letting things get lost in the back of my fridge.
Oh, it happens to all of us. Planning your meals in advance can also be really helpful.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to create a shopping list and avoid those impulse purchases that might end up going to waste.
Those are some great tips. It's really all about just being mindful of what you have, what you need, and when you need it.
Exactly.
And these principles can be applied to other areas of your life too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Think about, like, managing your wardrobe, organizing your tools, even keeping track of your personal finances.
It's really about creating systems that help you optimize your resources,
Right.
reduce waste, and ultimately make your life a little bit easier.
And more organized.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We explored different inventory management techniques, looked at real-world examples, talked about the impact of technology, and even touched on the environmental and personal aspects of inventory management.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. But before we wrap up completely, there's one final piece of the puzzle that I want to touch on.
Okay.
The human element of inventory management.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the world of, software systems, data.
Right.
But we can't forget that, people are at the heart of it all.
Absolutely. And remember Jackie SIC, the Peruvian company we talked about?
Yeah.
They had plenty of revenue, but they were struggling with inefficient inventory practices.
Right.
And a big part of their problem was that lack of proper training and just clear roles and responsibilities for their employees.
Yeah, totally.
It's a great reminder that investing in your workforce is so important.
It is.
Whether it's through training programs, mentorship opportunities, or just fostering a culture of open communication that can have a huge impact on your inventory management.
It really can.
It's also crucial to empower your employees to, identify areas for improvement.
Right.
And contribute their own ideas.
Because oftentimes the people closest to the day-to-day operations have the best insights into what's working and what's not.
Yeah. By creating a culture where employees feel valued and heard, businesses can really unlock a wealth of knowledge and drive continuous improvement.
Well said.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
I think so, too.
We explored how inventory management can make or break a business.
We did.
How technology is revolutionizing the field, and even how these principles can be applied to your own life.
Hopefully our listeners have gained a newfound appreciation for this often overlooked but incredibly important area.
I hope so, too. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you next time.